What's going on, guys? More hints and tips about college. We're going to talk about asinine professors, faculty, and staff at the institutions, colleges, universities.
What happens is in some
Turned around.
in some universities, it's great if you're in the sciences because you cannot you get graded on exactly what happens. 1 and 1 is 2. But when you're taking these classes that are the professor has their input and they can just arbitrarily give you any kind of grade, that's bullshit because a lot of people, a lot of students, especially minorities, we get the blunt of it. Because if you disagree, if the professor disagree with you, they can just arbitrarily give you any kind of bullshit grade. Where you work hard, you'll do this. And they're asses. Bottom line, they're asses. And then also, we've checked out some of those same professors are on Rate Your Professor, one of the worst professors rated. So it's just ridiculous. And we know a couple of them. We know a PH who is a mess, a stone mess. And so I said, anybody, if they go to U of M, do not take PH. PK.
She said we know what PK.
Do not take PK. And I'm not talking about preacher's kid. I'm talking about a professor. So go through the catalog. Do not take her. And it's on Rate Your Professor. PK's throughout that. Do not take her because she thinks she's teaching a grad level class. And she just arbitrarily, if she doesn't like you, in your opinion, she just arbitrarily gives you a bullshit grade. So that's all I got to say. Be aware. Talk to people before you go through the classes. See what the professors are like, what they require. And of course, you're here to study and work and do the grades, but some people just bullshit and they just arbitrarily trying to flunk a lot of minorities out because they don't want them on the campus. That's all I got to say.
What we're talking about is the fact that there are professors who really don't care about the students. They have tenure, they're going to have their jobs regardless. And they're not best suited for the educating of the college student. And another problem with colleges in general, college professors don't have to have teacher certificates. So they can be brilliant in the field but don't know how to teach at all. So that's another, to me, they should be made to get teacher certificates. Because if you have to teach at a middle school, high school, elementary, you have to have a teacher certificate. You can't just be like, oh, I know how to do math. Right. You might be brilliant in mathematics, but if you don't know how to teach it to somebody, you don't need to be their teacher. You don't need to be their professor. And in college, you find a lot of these brilliant, geniuses, but they're not people persons. They don't know how to communicate. And then they're doctors, and they've been in the doctoral, field for 20, 30 years. So when they're trying to talk to you about stuff, they're talking to you like you're a doctor and you're a freshman. You don't know what you're talking about. So that's what you're going to find a lot. And like she was just saying, we both had the same professor. And don't get me wrong, we both got a 3.5, which is a B+. Now keep in mind, each and every single paper, assignment, same grade, B+, B+, B+. We were the only one, and just like your class, it was me and shout out to lovely Layla, 810. But me and her and maybe 2-3 other students out of 15 students, we were the only ones that talked. Because this class was set up where it was a discussion-based class, and you had to read all of these books and articles with books. Because every day she was sending an email talking about, check this out. So you had to read and keep up on it, so when you came to class, you were ready for the discussion. Well, the majority of the students didn't even do that. So if it wasn't for the few students who did, the class would be extremely boring, and she would be the main one talking the whole time, and we definitely don't want that. But the way she was set up, and a lot of these professors, like you said, if you're in liberal arts, beware. Because liberal arts is subjective. Okay? It's subjective. Wait, is it subjective or not objective? Yeah, it's subjective.
Objective, we wouldn't be complaining.
Yeah, it's subjective, very subjective. So people, if you're, case in point, if you're taking a political science class and your professor is a conservative, don't come in there with any liberal propaganda because you will get an E. Okay, and that's the type of mess I'm talking about. Like, if this is supposed to be a free society. So if I'm liberal and you're conservative, but you're teaching, I shouldn't be getting a lower grade because you don't agree with my political ideology. That's not the point of the class. But that's what I mean. You have these professors who are like that, so you want to watch out for that. Yeah. But like I said, we just giving y'all some hints, some tips, because a lot of you are going to go to college regardless of us telling you you will go into debt. I mean... Yeah, but then again, I'm guilty of it too. Like, we've all known about this, but somehow, some way, they got
broke
us.
as shit. I'm in debt.
I owe 13. Anyways, that's